Good luck, boys. You have it.
Okay.
The chase continues. Razork hasn't got a hope in hell of escaping this one as Supa claims another. MDK 2 up and hook. Make it 3! Oh, will he be able to get away from this one? Knocked out by Oscarinin, but Oscarinin could just change forms and auto. Elyoya flashes back into the bush. Elyoya flashes back. No way does he get out of this?
Oh my god.
My god.
Alvaro cleansed away as he looks for the backline as well. The redemption coming out. Woo. Help Fresskowy take out Humanoid, and with a kill of instinct, Supa finds the first kill.
I think in the game of Fnatic, it's kind of what happened in SK2. I think we didn't show up, and we are really like tilted with that game because it's not the image that we want to show, and we really look like to change that perspective of how we played in these matches of playoffs. And now, what like the difference between that games is we will play more aggro, we will play without fear, and we will punish their mistakes, which I think they do a lot. I mean, Oscar is my friend. Like out of the game, so it's always like so fun playing to him. I respect him a lot. I think he's not at his best level now. I think he usually plays way higher level. So I think like I really want him to stay on that level to face him and see who's better. Like I think that's our rivalry. Like we always want to be better than the other. So that's going to be really hype.
Really hype indeed. At the top of the day, Myrwn said, I always feel like I'm one step behind to Oscarinin. Well, now you are one game away of qualifying to that lower bracket final tomorrow versus BDS over Oscar. So how the cookie crumbles indeed. But I don't want to talk about top lane actually, even though the Varus is crazy and it always is. But Fresskowy, who really, Eragon is someone we haven't talked about that much when it comes to Mad Lions core.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just fantastic how we keep seeing loads of different picks, so much diversity, and now on this flanking pick, managing to find the fights every single time with some crazy Baron plays as well.
Yeah, it was crazy. For me, the Baron start, the first one they did just to catch the Jason rotation, it was crazy. And I feel like his presence in the game, even with this pick on Hwei, because it kind of stopped the drought of kills from Mad Lions. Every single fight that Mad Lions has been winning is because of him, because he's playing around vision so well. He understands where he needs to be, and this one was just crazy. It's maybe one of the only brushes that they don't have vision of, and he's just everywhere he needs to be.
It's every single time finds the right angle, right? And I love the draft because they have this really cool combo of Nautilus plus Gragas all into like a Kai'Sa dive too. So they really needed to close the gap on this super long range composition every single time they managed to pull it off.
Yeah,
That was great to see.
For me, yeah, this was crazy. The one he dodged literally every single ward on the map. But for me, what's really even more impressive is that he's traditionally not the person that is the one who has this role of finding flanks. Usually it's Alvaro, it's Myrwn, and now him, all of a sudden, he's stepping up massively in Game 3 with this sort of performance.
I mean, he did give an interview earlier to Sheep Esports this week saying how he didn't really feel the heat in terms of the mid lane pool in Europe. Well, in this one, he definitely brought the heat to Fnatic, and it's so important because when you look at kind of momentum, you come in here and Fnatic is favored because of their pedigree, because of their players, because of them winning the first time they met even here in the playoffs, or in the groups rather, or a couple of weeks ago. Let me put it this way, because I'm really excited about the Mad Lions and the fact that they are an unlikely team to be at this frontier, and no matter how they got it, Eragon, they got the level 1, it was a little messy, but they're the ones who now hold the match point, no matter how you twist it.
And I think what you're highlighting there is improvement. I think throughout the entire split, they might have started a little bit shaky. They would get some early game leads, but then they would throw them away, right? Whether it was objective setup, team fighting, or something like this. But as the split has gone on, they haven't really done that as much. Yeah, sure, some ends have been a little bit shaky, but they have been winning games against these top-tier teams, and it's definitely highlighted a lot of improvement.
Yeah, that was the difference. You know, they were taking down consistently teams that were around them or were below them. But the question was, can they replicate it, and can they replicate it enough to win a best of 5 versus a team like this? They are on match point, but I know what you're going to say, Odo. Well, they're probably going to be on red again, and you would be right. Fnatic selected blue side for game 4.
Yeah, it's weird because it doesn't even feel like it was a blue side, red side defeat. I feel like in the first 2 games, Fnatic got what they wanted with the brand, and in game 3 we saw a completely different style of draft. So for me, it would be really interesting to see what sort of adaptation Mad wants to do with what champions they want to leave open and trade, because I feel like that's what's most important on red side right now is you will be forced to make a trade. There's just too many OPs in the game and you cannot take them all out. Blue side will get one OP. So for me, the question is, how comfortable are they to trade, and what do they prioritize to trade now on red side?
Yeah, we will be covering a draft here as well, so we'll find the answers to that. In the past, when we've had Humanoid on PGL, after they were already up against match point, he was like, well, that's when we start to play, you know? They're definitely no strangers to playing from behind and being on the back foot in a series, but yeah, I think even though red side hasn't won yet, my gut is like telling me they want it so bad also. Let me put it this way, right? They've been wanting to prove it all split long, and this would be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'll be the first win of the series on red side, right? I just think it's so incredibly hard. No, I just think it's incredibly difficult. And you might not be saying blue side dip, but I think there are so many insane power picks for both teams here that maybe your only option is to leave everything open.
Yeah, I think it is, because right now, I feel like it took 3 games of figuring each other out. I think now we're so deep in a series that we can... I mean, both teams kind of got the feel for each other and what priorities and what they want to pick. So for me, now is game on, because these teams haven't faced each other for a while now, and they've been prepping and they've been ramping up in their own way. And now it's time to see, you know, with so much pressure and so much information, how are they going to adapt?
Yeah, and Fnatic will maybe looking at it from that perspective as well. We now have more information than we did when we stepped onto the Rift. We're going onto the blue side, and one thing that we can't deny is that, well, you know, that level 1 happened, but the jungle getting fights started in the early game from Fnatic has been on point, and I feel like regardless of the picks they get on this blue side rotation, we can probably expect that again.
Yeah, I think so, because Razork has been kind of imposing his will this series, even though in game 3 right now, they started down 3 kills and it was hard for him to find angles. It still felt like he was present and he was pretty much everywhere he needed to be to claw Fnatic back in the game, because at one point it was, what, 11 kills to 1
yeah.
or something like that, and it just showed that he still has this confidence to find picks regardless of how hard he set behind.
I think it's really interesting, because no matter what team it is, whoever's behind, they manage to find some kind of mid-game picks to shut down, to get some shutdowns and bring the game back a little bit. You know, they might not win in the end, but Fnatic in that mid-game, finding picks onto Supa, finding picks onto Myrwn, I believe, in the top side on that Varus, and getting bounties to claw their way back. I think, like you said, it was 11-1, and it ended up being 11-8 with a 1k gold lead, right? So both teams are really good at clawing their way in.
They are. So let's see if MDK wants to shut the door, and if they can, versus Fnatic.
The Iverman, yeah, kind of expected. It does seem like it's one of Elyoya's favorite champions, and it really works well with what Mad Lions want to do with this bunch of squishies, where he can just protect them and also be very, very annoying and disruptive when it comes to Fnatic looking for engages.
I think Brand and Karma are locked bans now. I think Mad Lions Hwei probably want to ban Karma because both teams love it so much. I imagine a B1 Varus as well could be really good for the side of Fnatic, because both teams, again, love it with that flex pick on the side of Mad Lions Hwei.
And now it looks like either Karma or Varus will be open. So now I think they're gonna go up for the Karma again. This is what they did in game 2. Oh, well, I guess they don't want it. I guess they don't. They really didn't like the Varus stuff. It was quite annoying, but it makes sense. I think it's really important to pick Varus here instead of the Karma, even though I think Karma is better, because on red side with Mad Lions Hwei, they can flex Varus everywhere, and you don't want to give so much power to red side, because you would be like, okay, where is this Varus going? You're gonna be probably opting to pick 2 losing lanes, because Varus will win bot lane and top lane no matter what. Varus and Hwei.
Yeah. I mean, almost saved the game also.
But I do think that this is a great adaptation for Mad Lions Hwei, because right now it does seem like it's a 2-for-1 trade, because Karma and Maokai are both really, really strong picks wherever they go.
You're already setting up for a really long-range draft, right, with the Hwei and the Varus, and then you have some lockdown for Hwei spells. I really like this adaptation from Fnatic, and the question is, what do you round it out with now? Do you pick your AD mid laner? I think you have to, right? Tristana, potentially, but how does that matchup go, do you think, Odo?
Tristana Hwei? I think Hwei should be winning, but I do think that this Karma would like to stay. Yeah, I think this Karma wants to stay mid. I don't think Ezreal mid into Hwei is so strong, because it feels like he would just be losing prio regardless, so I think we'll just have to wait and see. I do like where Fnatic is sitting though with this Vi, because against Karma you do want some solid engage, otherwise she's going to be tempoing the fight significantly. Ashe ban. Ashe Varus. I mean, Ashe and Varus is a very standard strong Halo Blades abuser, so nothing new there. They do want to mitigate a little bit of that Fnatic bot lane pressure, because the Ezreal does need a little bit of time to scale. If I'm Fnatic here, what am I looking for to ban?
I think you could ban AD mids, right? I think Yone, potentially if Fresskowy goes for something like that. I don't think he's a Yone player though, right? So it's like Yone Jace to match the range.
I think the priority is about top lane now because you want to ban Myrwn's annoying champions because you do have to blind pick though, even though this Karma could go top and Myrwn has played Karma in the past, so I don't know, I think you're kind of having to ban flexes between mid and top. It's
But does it get them anything else?
It won't really get them much, that's the problem. So it feels hard because that's the power of the flex picks here.
Yeah.
Fnatic has to kind of ban sleeper champions. Ooh, this does signal that they want a Zac.
Yeah.
To play over here, and I do think it's okay because I don't think there's a lot of top lane counter picks, although Gnar is up. I'm not sure if Myrwn played Gnar this split or not, but
Oh,
They're going to take it away themselves. They set it up just to take them away. So I wonder if he's just going to pick the Gnar in response. I think Gwen isn't that bad as well in the terms of scaling.
The thing is, if you pick Gwen here, the team comp from Fnatic is a bit wonky.
and he's just signaling that he knows.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Yeah, it's funny to the Zac hovering to. I know what you're trying to do, just to take it away at the
And
last
just
moment.
know, I have an idea for it.
Yeah.
Maokai support.
Yeah, Maokai support. Maokai support has been rising as probably the best support in the game. Probably also because of the support item delay, where you take it now on your second or your first base instead of starting with. And the Zac comes through.
Yep.
What does Myrwn have cooking up? It's going to be something spicy, right? It is Myrwn.
Yeah, I mean, Karma could go top and just take first strike, but I think Gnar, if I am MDK here, I do want a little bit more of frontline presence.
Gwen, surely, with the Gwen Xin combination?
They could go for Gwen, Karma, Zhao seems quite strong. I mean, it plays into their identity of flanking. They will need to find a new flanker, probably Zhao here, but I do think the Gnar is the most solid choice. It kind of provides a little bit of everything. It provides you flexibility later in the game, winning side, and also good teamfight power.
Okay. Interesting draft for sure, and one of the more conservative picks I've seen Myrwn on. So let's see if he is as adept on these as he is on the others. We didn't, but you said it a lot in the room, and we didn't really say it here. But always be flanking seems to be the Mad Lions.
Yeah, Mad Lions has been always looking for. Their mantra is one-person flank at all times. The four people are doing their job so well, but one-person flank. But I'm a bit concerned for Fnatic's a little bit of anti-synergy with Renata, Zac, Hwei. It feels like someone wants to go in, someone wants to peel, and usually when you get the mix of both, it doesn't really end up so well.
Oof, so they're going to have to 100% be on the same page if they want to repel this match point coming from Mad Lions Koi, because otherwise, it's Elyoya and his gang of not rookies, if that's what they want to be called themselves, going up to the next round. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Sjokz. We are here for what could be the final game of the day. Mad Lions Koi versus Fnatic taking it to the Rift. Mad Lions Koi 2-1 up. We'll see if they can find the flanks that win them games against Fnatic, who are fighting with their back against the ropes here, Betty.
When we think back to the last time the organizations met in a best of 5, we did mention that it went all the way to 5 games.
It did.
2-0 to Fnatic, then 2-2 by Mads, and then the final game being decided by Fnatic. That Fnatic roster was a little different back then.
This Mad roster was a lot different.
Very different, yeah. But a lot of these players, formerly of Movistar, they know what it was like. They were on that stage as well, falling just short to KC just the day before. And they're hungry for success here in the LEC. Expectations incredibly low coming in, but they certainly have delivered. Their second game on red side, the entirety of playoffs. In their previous game, they got stomped on the red side. Let's see if things change this time around. I'm very much aligned with what Odo said on the desk. Often when we see Fnatic picking things like Divide, it gives Razork a huge amount of agency. Super.
He's pulled back, he has to cleanse. Straight up, Alvaro will look for the Bramble Smash across the wall. In the end, Supa takes about half his health and has to burn a summoner.
So that ward doing Fnatic a lot of favors. Supa gonna lose a little bit of his HP, but he's gonna throw a Q out. Will he hit?
It's the mind games.
Oh wow, doesn't actually throw it out. Oscar.
But he may have thrown it out when we moved away. We're building the tension for future Qs in that bot lane.
Oscarinin starting with the W. That seems really miserable for level 1.
Unstable top lane with the unstable matter for Oscar. Obviously.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, well, Razork's going to finish blue. Now Elyoya will come in. Razork's at half HP. Elyoya does still have the smash, the smite, in fact. So does Razork, and Razork respects it, flashes over the wall. We'll put a ward down.
Razork also has smite. Does he want to bother using it though? Looks like no. Is he gonna go straight to wolves? Can't Elyoya just go and contest those wolves as well?
I think he can. He's gonna smite. The problem is Humanoid can move, so a little bit more safety for Razork. He will back away from the wolves. Elyoya pushes him off it as Oscarinin takes the wrong side of a trade in the top lane.
So Elyoya, I mean, they had that early ward on red, which meant that they had a rough idea of where Razork was starting. He knows that both in top and mid, his laners have prio. And rather than using that prio to invade bot side jungle, which is something we often see from the blue side, this is a red side invade that works out very nicely for Elyoya, getting a small lead, getting the flash out from Razork. And if they then want to threaten a dive towards the bot side of the map, not having that flash makes it that much harder. So even though the gold difference, not that significant, camps, not that big of an advantage, they've kind of split the map up, and it's made it easier for Myrwn to play as aggressively as he likes. But Humanoid is now the one in danger as Elyoya looks for the dive.
Humanoid still has flash here. Wave is crashing in, about 7 minions there for MDK. Fresskowy flashes forward, looking for the root. Humanoid locked up and shut out of the fight. Elyoya gets first blood, has to flash away himself. Razork on his way, though. Should be able to pick up this kill. Elyoya doesn't really have any way to get out. The Inspire across the wall. Elyoya jumps back in, and Razork takes him down.
Into being a 1-for-1, but here comes Myrwn.
Humanoid CP'd back into the mid lane as well. The pull back onto Fresskowy. Razork joins the fray. Humanoid coming in from the side, and Fresskowy's on the wrong side of the rift. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Oscarinin stunned up with the wallop. Almost taken out. The auto not enough from Myrwn, and Fresskowy will be felled on the bottom side of the map. Zelda vision out from Oscarinin. He should be able to come back to life here. Myrwn tanks a tower shot, and we'll just be happy enough to get that Zac passive out early.
Tactical death. Oscarinin now has the health advantage. Noah's going to interrupt the back. But all right, so Fnatic actually find themselves with an early kill lead. Slight gold advantage as well. That dive, I think you can debate if it was worth it for MDK. They got the flash out from Humanoid, and there's an argument to be made that that alone was worth it, because then they could look for a repeat gank later. By committing to it, they basically overextended, giving Myrwn and Razork an opportunity to respond. And the fact that Razork now has that kill sets himself up very nicely for more early game plays. We know what Razork is like as a player. We've already seen it this series. You give him, it's like old Moscow 5. You give him an inch and they'll take a mile. And he just loves to use his lead as much as he can. We'll see what he does with it though. Not that there's anything significant to write home about this early on. 3 long swords in his inventory.
It's a full-on General Grievous cosplay.
That it is. All of the swords must be collected.
As you say, was 2 summoners burnt from Fresskowy and Elyoya. Both their flashes down. Myrwn burnt his flash trying to kill Oscarinin in the top lane, which he did manage to do, but obviously Flubber able to come back with an extra life. Myrwn still winning out pretty aggressively on these trades. Kind of to be expected in the Gnar versus Zac matchup as he jumps back in. Oscar trying to get to that cell division. He flashes on it, and look at the healing back for him. Oscar keeps himself alive, but they'd have to expend the summoner to do so.
So you can see, without me really needing to say much, why this matchup is really miserable for the Zac. He just doesn't have the range to farm, and he has to walk into this type of range to be able to get CS. The reason why he's actually going to be ahead in CS is because Myrwn has put so much focus onto trading that he actually lost a decent amount of farm as a result. So credit to Oscar. He's lost his flash, he's lost his passive, but he's weathering the storm about as best as he can. As the Dragon is started off by MDK, it looks like Razork is not in a position to contest. He's going to tick over to level 5 as first objective secured by MDK.
You can see Myrwn working his way down from top lane to check the grubs, see if Razork was doing them on the other side of the map. They know he's not there, so kind of implies that perhaps Razork is looking for something else. Maybe a lane gank here, anticipating that Elyoya could look.
Yeah, I think you're right.
For something.
That's the main goal. They know that this stacking wave is pushing towards MDK's tower, and so Razork is primarily here to cover. Help them get the push, and then go back to base.
That's exactly what he'll do, but Elyoya uses the time after taking the Drake to reset and get up towards these grubs. He has push in mid, he has push in top, and pretty easy to take an objective when you can be 3 players on it. Razork on his way across, but might just towards his blue instead of erring towards the fight. You can see Myrwn opening up through this top side as well on the Renata, but he's not going to be there in time to actually secure anything out of it.
Razork sitting on vision.
Razork spotted. Vault Breaker's away, still rooted. Oh, not quite. Alvaro, though, the Spiraling Despair. Almost enough. The auto won't quite take him out. He flashes just in time. The handshake back on Fresskowy, though. And he is pretty much done for. MDK will get the grubs, but Oscarinin will take the kill.
Very close stuff there for Alvaro. Fnatic finding themselves another kill, but it is MDK that lead in terms of objectives. The question is, will it really matter? Another plate goes down. I say another, the first plate of the game, I should say. But a 1k goal lead already for Fnatic. A lot of that being built in mid lane. Fresskowy losing his life once more. Another plate even secured for Humanoid. Of course, he has the advantage that he just backed earlier upon returning to the map. No reason for him not to keep pushing.
He's going to have his TP up around the same time as Fresskowy's. Both of them now with summoners in the mid lane makes him a little bit safer, but Humanoid definitely with the advantage in this lane. 3 stacks on his Dark Seals as well, definitely helping him out. Elyoya looking up towards the top side. Myrwn has not been able to develop the sort of lead that we saw from him in the first couple of games, but there also hasn't been as much jungle intervention as perhaps it was in game 1 or game 2. Myrwn can keep this wave around here, though. And Oscarinin, respecting the fact there might be a jungler on the top side, is just going to let his lane be frozen.
Yeah, that really sucks for Oscar. There's nothing he can do about it. The good news is that he has a slight gold lead thanks to the kill that he got earlier.
I don't think he'll have it for very long if that freeze is maintained.
In an ideal world, he'd have the jungler or even support, Shadow, to then help him push it out. But right now, there's no one on Fnatic to really assist. Oh, secured by Razork. Nice little snipe there from his Q. Jun, though.
Jun's going to get caught out. Alvaro diving forward. True Shot Rush coming out as well as Jun will forward at Supa. Elyoya now spotted on the vision, gives Oscarinin the chance to break that freeze by himself in the top lane, but another kill going over to MDK.
Jun, yeah.
It really was. Oscarinin has the plated steel caps, double ruby, knocked away by Myrwn. Going to get pulled back with a stretching strike, and Oscar picking up those cell divisions and dodging away from the house that was thrown at his backside. Oscar should be able to just catch this wave. And although there is a slight lead for Myrwn, it should even out in the end.
Yeah. So, I mean, this counter pick not going as badly as it could have for Oscar. He's doing reasonably well for the time being. Bot lane is relatively even as well. Supa on Ezreal typically can struggle against a champion like Varus, but you know, he's just sitting back, taking his time. He's suffering a slight CS deficit, but he just got a kill. So that goal gap also doesn't really mean anything, and this laning phase is very neutral. And one of the things we then kind of have to come back to is what Odoamne was saying. You kind of look at this Fnatic composition. You've got this Zac and this Vi that want to dive in. And then you've got this Hwei and Varus and Renata that kind of want to play more back, want to play more disengage, use their range. And against SK, I think that Fnatic sometimes struggled to execute this comp just because they weren't patient enough. You know, they weren't able to land that chip damage before forcing that initiation. Instead, they would just immediately go all in. And that could be a problem against this composition from MDK. But we'll see as the game progresses, as things are very even for the time being. A very slight gold lead in favor of Fnatic, mounting to about 1,000. As Elyoya now looking to try and shadow Myrwn around the top side of the map. Myrwn is very close to getting Mega Gnar. I wonder if they can set up a play here.
I think Oscarinin doesn't really want them to, you know?
Well, Dragon then becomes the next major objective. Along with the grubs respawning soon, perhaps they forego the Dragon in exchange to deny those 5 grubs from MDK.
Definitely could. It's been a little bit of a slower affair than our first 3 games today, but both the teams perhaps a little bit more tentative and just wanting to scale up towards first, second items. Luden's Companion now complete on Humanoid means that he'll start rattling through the MDK's health bars. And MDK not the tankiest of teams either. Obviously Crescent Guard can give you a lot as Jun just eats an absolute ton of damage there. Fresskowy helping out. Supa takes the kill. Alvaro now on the flank as Noah flashes away and then cleanses away and dodges the wind, becomes lightning. Another good pick there from MDK. Jun on the receiving end of it for the second time.
That opens up the Dragon for MDK to start off. Of course, Jun already back alive, making his way towards the Dragon. MDK choosing to go for the Scuttle Crab could buy enough time. No one needs to catch this wave, but look at Humanoid as well, already moving down.
Flash forward. They immediately engage on Razork. Vault Breaker knocks back. Chain of Corruption dodged. as Supa continues to put the damage down. Cease and desist, not enough. Elyoya, Crescent guards. Alvaro low as Humanoid can't quite land the Spiraling Despair. Alvaro doing a superb job of dodging in and out and ducking out of the fight. Humanoid now low. Hostile takeover. Supa has to cleanse it. He realizes he would have been yelling timber as the support would have fallen to his autos. But Razork dead. MDK get out without losing a man.
And I think Humanoid tried to do too many things in that fight. The TP was good, it helped him regroup with the rest of his team that was getting engaged on by MDK. But the problem is, he thought that he could guarantee that kill onto Alvaro, so he threw his ultimate towards MDK, didn't actually connect it onto anyone, and then as he threw out what I believe was his QQ, Maokai actually used the twisting advance to dodge it, so he gets away with his life. Very well played from Alvaro overall in that little skirmish, as MDK walk away with a kill. But the goal largely remains even.
Yeah, it does. You can see 400 gold lead for Humanoid in the mid lane, but nothing to write home about, unless you are in the habit of writing home about very small things, which perhaps you could do.
Well, a big thing that could be worth noting is the fact that Supa has 3 kills.
Pretty strong.
This Ezreal is already ramping up very quickly.
We are aware of the stutters, by the way. Engineers are working on it, just so you all know that we are seeing what you're seeing. Supa, his most played, or second most played across the course of his career was the Ezreal, 35 games on it. Only has a 48.6% win rate compared to something like his Kai'Sa that has a 71% win rate, but still a champion he's very comfortable on. It's Ezreal. So him already having an Essence Reaver, building up towards that Manamune, is going to be a very powerful DPS later in the game.
As we mentioned, it's been a fairly slow and steady early game. Small trades coming back and forth from both sides. The Herald going to be spawning in about 10 seconds. Noah's already making a move towards it. Oscarinin does have the TP, but he's been sent top lane. They're sending Humanoid bot. He won't have that TP available, meaning MDK can guarantee numbers around the Herald. Could be another difficult fight for Fnatic if they want to go for it.
Oh, Myrwn at the Humanoid. There's the wallop.
Nice fear. Buys him
Really
enough space.
Fear.
That is the EQ.
Grim Visage, or Visage, depending on how you pronounce it.
You know, I will say, even though Elyoya has been first to like every objective and getting all the Scuttle Crabs, Razork's still ahead in farm. Just about. Credit to him, he does have that small lead, thanks to that extra assist that he's sitting on.
It's constantly going into Elyoya's jungle as well. You can see right now a great example of it. Elyoya is taking away the Rift Herald, and Razork is looking to take away this blue buff. We'll spot Myrwn. Well, Breaker starting to charge up. Myrwn was just trying to build up those Mega Gnar stacks, and he gets to half and then jumps across the wall. Well,
yes,
giving a jump to the
Humanoid wasn't close enough. Trying to thin out the wave here, bot lane. Make it harder for Humanoid to cross map for this tower. I think that'll be a job well done. And I like this MDK response, dropping the Herald mid. They should be able to push this towards the tier 2 as well, just to get a bit of extra damage.
With the reaction from Razork and Myrwn, it might be a little bit trickier too.
You're right, you're right. They show that respect. Oh, actually, they don't even secure this tower, so it will be a tower advantage for Fnatic.
MDK just want to prove you wrong.
Yep, they do. Everything I say, they're just like, no, Vedius.
MDK would go and say something like they won't fight 5v5.
Yeah, it would be a really bad idea for MDK to fight right now.
That one they agree with.
That one they agree with.
So yeah, very even game between these two teams. Only 500 gold in it right now. Humanoid is scaling up towards that second item though. He's got a Haunting Guise. Fresskowy's answering top. Malignant's complete on the Karma. A Horizon focus next on the menu.
You have to imagine that pressure is in the back of the minds of these players. MDK do have breathing room, but they just want to lock it in now.
Yeah.
You know, secure top 3, go up against BDS tomorrow. Potentially even qualify for the final, which would be an incredible debut, especially for new players to the LEC stage.
A meteoric rise for them, going from the EMEA Masters final only 6 months ago, 7 months ago, straight into an LEC Winter final.
Of course, Fnatic, they've been in this position many a time before. A lot of these players have found themselves at the brink of being eliminated. They've been able to find the play that they need. See if they can find the plays that they need to turn this game in their favor. The gold is clearly dead even right now. MDK have their eyes on the top side of the map, but Fnatic is here to cover.
Oscarinin jumping, and Elyoya able to dodge away from the Severing Bolt, but now, with the Nature's Grasp coming out, Elyoya has to use the Crescent Guard, the pull back, hostile takeover as well, doing quite a lot of work. Elyoya dodging and dipping and weaving his way away from all of this damage. Myrwn trying to get onto the backline, but can't quite get into Mega. Alvaro and Elyoya caught in the pick by Oscarinin and Razork, and there's another. Oscarinin takes the kill, Alvaro trying to escape, but he'll be felled by Noah. And now it's a 5v3 flash forward. Jun unable to land the handshake. True Shot Barrage won't be enough to cull through those Fnatic players.
Well played fight from Fnatic. MDK was setting up for that top dive. They're going to try and unlock this tier 1. And then we look at this collapse coming in through here. Immediate engage onto Elyoya. He then gets jumped on by Oscarinin, who flashes over the wall to connect him with his Q onto Alvaro. But then the fight becomes a little bit divided as Noah is trying to keep Myrwn entertained, threatening that potential flank, which he's not allowed to find. Oscarinin then gets a huge heal, and they're able to find themselves 2 quick picks. I'm a little baffled actually as to where he got that massive heal from.
Probably picked up a couple of cell divisions that were sitting on the floor.
Potentially. I thought he actually procced his passive, and then I was like, you don't respawn if you get a kill, right? I'm sure that's not how it works.
It's not like, it's like an Aatrox passive or something?
Well, it's the same as Renata.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, is that what happened? Renata applied the attack speed thing on it, and then he actually came back with some of his life?
I didn't watch it closely enough to say that, but I feel like that's probably not what happened.
Maybe not. I'd have to rewatch it. But in any case, it is MDK that are first the objective. They have control over the river. Fnatic have to fight their way in. A lot of poke on the side of MDK. But Fnatic don't care.
Let's face tank it. It's the power of Zach. Makes it very easy for you just to step into the enemy team like this.
Where is his flank this time? Well, Service highlighting.
Building up Mega.
Building up the Mega, exactly.
Jump to wall. There's control ward where Oscarinin is.
But Oscarin's just watching him. They are very aware of this flank. Here's the Mega.
Redemption down from Jun to heal himself back up. Myrwn has the Mega, he dashes forward, Noah with the cleanse just in time though. The Dragon down to 2,000, Razork's caught in the pit, so is Oscarinin, but Oscarinin still has the cell division. Noah's already killed off Alvaro, and Razork dashing back in. There's another as Myrwn falls. Oscarinin brought back to life, now into the cell division, and it's all on Supa to put out as much DPS as he can in these moments. Fresskowy jumps across the wall, so does Supa, but Oscarin's on the chase, the elastic slingshot. Can't quite find the MDK now on the wrong side of the rift. Now Supa, very slippery in a situation like this. The Bolt Breaker out almost kills Razork, can't quite find him. Fresskowy will be able to get some more damage down. Supa dashing forward, Humanoid coming in from the side. Razork low, Elyoya down, Supa will be killed off, not quite. The Severing Bolt dodge to the side of Oscarinin low, the shields, the heals, Fresskowy keeping his AD carry alive, but not for long enough. Grasping more pulls back one, the TP now in. As Myrwn rejoins the fray, Humanoid no mana, but has a flash, and he'll use it to dash across towards that wall. The Grim Visage Fear just enough to keep Myrwn at bay.
Wow, what a crazy team fight. Fnatic won the initial fight. They also got the Dragon, and it's crucial that that cleanse from Noah creates enough space between him and Myrwn. Then this backline, it looks disastrous for Fnatic as their front line is disappearing. But then this Renata passive, being able to keep Oscarinin alive once they get that initial kill. The front line is gone from MDK, and they're forced to go on the retreat. A couple of skill shots missed there from Humanoid, but the damage is severe enough that MDK are forced to run away. Fnatic coming up huge in these team fights. A few more skill shots connecting, and it could have been so much worse for MDK.
Yeah, like one more longsword for Supa as well.
But I'm really curious. Razork is going to get a bunch of health back here. I believe he connects, gets the shield, and then he just heals all that back up to buy him a little bit more time. MDK still get that kill down, though. Fresskowy, you highlighted in the fight, providing so much shielding, but the second he tries the ultimate, Humanoid shuts him down. And then we get the trade of flashes here from Humanoid and Myrwn. Nice fear coming out from Humanoid to buy enough space for him to retreat.
The fight's on a knife edge. You can see if Supa had an extra longsword in that fight, it would have gone very differently for MDK. They are now 2,000 gold in the hole. Fnatic getting that Dragon as well as Razork. Cease and desist immediately onto Fresskowy. The redemption coming down as well as Oscarinin and Razork will be healed up. Nature's Grasp from the side. Crescent Guard coming out. The dash away from the hostile takeover. Fnatic once again find a pick. And they're doing so well with Elastic Slingshot plus Cease and Desist just for the lockdown. All they need is one. And then they can look for disengage. if MDK try and continue the fight.
That was a TP committed for that pick as well. Debatable if it was worth it. I wonder if Fnatic will use the Baron to try and force something. Looks like for the time being, they will not. So, they're just... Oh, yes, they do successfully interrupt the base from Oscar. MDK going to buy a little bit more time with that. Supa can now push in mid. Dragon not for another 2 minutes. So even though Fnatic found themselves a pick, it doesn't really result in a huge amount. So MDK not going to be too upset about that. Baron is, of course, up. But what a close affair. You've got to remember that Noah, one of his best champions this split has been the Varus. He's 3-0-3 on the champion right now. And while he is yet to die, Supa actually has a gold lead over him. So these AD carries are going to be super important moving forward as we get closer and closer to things like the Baron.
I think the difficulty for MDK is how do you get onto Noah in a fight? Like you use the Nature's Grasp, maybe Myrwn finds a flank, but apart from that, you're diving in. Humanoid has CC to fear you away. Noah has Chain of Corruption. Jun has the hostile takeover. It feels like in fights it's going to be so difficult to actually ever access this backline unless it's from a Myrwn flank. MDK might struggle in actually engaging the fights, which means Fnatic can always take them on their terms. Now MDK have tools when the fight begins. You know, you've got Karma Ezreal who can put down a lot of work, but the struggle is if one of your players has already been killed by the cease and desist elastic slingshot combination, and Myrwn just scores a goal with a building there, but it just becomes very hard for MDK to ever actually approach the fight on a front foot.
I mean, I just think that the poke is super important in this game. When you've got Ezreal Karma versus Varus Hwei, it's just a battle of who can land those skill shots first, right? The health advantage is going to be so crucial once the fight actually starts. But there's also this Zac problem where I don't really know how they stop him. I feel like that Ezreal alone isn't enough to just deal with Zac. Whereas I think Noah, with Renata by his side, has enough peel to be able to weather that kind of storm, so we'll see how things translate. Myrwn is pushing in top right now. The ultimate thrown out. I think Fnatic's going to be happy with this. TP?
I think the ult's just to keep them away from the tower. Myrwn's actually going to go back to pushing in top lane.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? The dragon has started, so it's a pretty straightforward cross map here for MDK. There's a world where MDK can also keep pushing for the tier 2 in mid. They may even threaten a Baron. I think that's a little overzealous.
There we are, tower for Drake exchanged. Things towards the Baron from Fnatic. They realize it's a possibility. Humanoid has TP, so he's going to try and shove in this bot wave, and MDK won't go for the Baron, as you say. A little overzealous for them if they had invested their resources there. Well, Fnatic, of course, still fighting for their lives in this series. They only seem to take a game off G2 in these playoffs. So right now, they need to take 2 off MDK if they're going to make it to the matchup against Vedius tomorrow. It's been a long time since we've seen Fnatic make it to a final and win. 2018 summer was the last time they managed to claim the victory. Obviously met with G2 in our season finals last year in Montpellier, but as a 3-1 result in favor of G2.
Fnatic fans are definitely hungry for another title. But right now, they've got a hungry Mad Lions who they have to beat not just once, but twice. A very tense best of 5. The Baron is in the eyes of Mad Lions Koi. Fnatic don't have a lot of information. They have a little bit.
Importantly, they have a ward on the back.
I mean, that helps, yeah. I agree.
This gives them that enough vision to know that MDK haven't started off. And I wonder if MDK actually think they've cleared this out. And maybe have just missed it with the sweeper.
Once they kill this, they'll see it.
Yep, there we are. Oh, there was a ward there all along.
Bot lane, I see Myrwn hovering around. I imagine he's killing the Krugs while Humanoid catches that wave. But we're in a kind of a deadlock state where it would be on MDK to pull the trigger to force a Baron, to force a fight. But they don't want to, and I totally understand that. No reason to right now. 3 items now finished for Humanoid. He's where a lot of the gold lead is sitting on in favor of Fnatic, whereas Myrwn is where the gold lead is sitting on for MDK. But I just find Humanoid a little scarier than Myrwn is right now.
I can agree with that. You know, Humanoid has that extra range that we were talking about with the Severing Bolt. He's played this way very well across the course of 2024. And the Crypt Bloom obviously helping out his team. The game goes later. Crypt Bloom actually, with something like a Zac, because you have the Spirit Visage, just, you know, extra healing. It makes it even, makes him even tankier through fights. He can survive the initial burst. Humanoid and Noah now joining the mid lane. Oscarinin has that Zelda vision back to passive. Fnatic have invested quite a lot into healing in this game. Makes sense when you have the Zac. Razork dashing forward. Redemption first item for Jun.
Nice poke coming out from Supa. Really important that he connects this. I mean, both teams just kind of looking at each other right now. Oscar hesitant to go and catch top wave without his TP. Humanoid's forced to go and answer bot because of the TP. And MDK kind of have this map advantage right now simply due to the fact that they have both of their TPs available, but it's at the same time kind of denied by the fact that Fresskowy is primarily grouping with his team, and look at the level difference starting to mount between the two mid laners. Humanoid very close to level 16, while Fresskowy stays at 14.
And that difference is mirrored in the top lane. Myrwn already level 16, Oscar just about to tick over 215. He's the one grouping with Fnatic, denying himself a bit of that XP. As here's the elastic slingshot, Razork caught out, flash away from Fresskowy, Oscarinin on that front line. Supa across the wall, now dashes forward. There's the redemption. Nature's Grasp being used as well as Humanoid invests the TP to make sure that his team is okay. MDK will look to back away from this. Super caught with the season he flashes all the way across the wall. Oscarinin diving forward as well. The hostile takeover finds him. And a beautiful engage from Fnatic. Elyoya with the Crescent Guard will be able to survive. The bailout on Razork takes him out. Myrwn, flash Gnar, a possibility. He finds two. And Oscarinin is now locked against the wall already. Noah's down. Humanoid doing everything he can to get the damage out. Crypt Bloom healing up a little bit as he turns his attention over to Myrwn. Oscarinin brought back. And Myrwn's locked out. 3v2 in favor of Fnatic.
Humanoid doing so much damage in that fight. I thought that Supa had created enough space between himself and the rest of Fnatic that MDK could just turn and kill Razork. But that wasn't quite the case. The TP comes in a little late from Myrwn. We look at this engage as they try to chip away at Oscar. The TP response from Humanoid. And then Supa thinks, okay, I'm fine. Ease over the wall, the ultimate connects, flash is over. But then look at this Renata ultimate. The damage as well from Noah means that they take out the Ezreal. And now Myrwn arrives. Really good kill onto Razork into a good ultimate. Means that it's a favorable fight initially, but it's still just a 3 versus 3. And so you look at the positioning of Humanoid here, and he's able to consistently dish out this damage. And while Myrwn does try to shut him down, that's when the Fnatic, or the rest of Fnatic I should say, come to protect him. And it ends up in a one fight for Fnatic, but a very close fight regardless. Now they begin their siege on the tier 2.
Humanoid 4-1-4. See the damage he did in that fight. A lot of it coming from Razork as well. For Fresskowy, we always talk about Karma as
underestimated how much damage.
Yeah. Talk about her
was
utility a lot of the time, but with this build, you're just getting Mantra up so often with the Malignance, with the fact that when you hit your spells as well, you get that cooldown back! I think his smite may have been on cooldown.
I think it was as well.
But Supa steals it away, puts his team on soul point, and what a moment! Supa is having this split.
A big denial away from Fnatic. The Baron is an objective that Mad Lions once again have their eyes on. Controlling the top side river. Fresskowy went to catch bot, going back to base, has the TP available. MDK are pushing their vision even deeper now, threatening a pick onto Humanoids.
And Humanoid's going to face check straight into it, and again the Grim Visage comes out, spiraling despair as well as he sidesteps everything, burns the flash. The redemption coming out, severing bolt on Elyoya, takes him down to about a third. Good knockback on Oscarinin as he tried to jump across the wall. The Gramble smash from Alvaro, keeping him at bay. Razork looking for the flank here, cease and desist. Jumps forward, elastic slingshot from Oscarinin. He's down into the cell division. Bailout going wide. Oscar the first target for MDK, and they'll take him out. But Noah answers with a kill on the enemy jungler in response. 1-for-1 the exchange.
Oscar does have TP, but that's a 40-second death timer on him. No objective for either team to play for. Humanoids bought a lot of time, popping the Sterax on Elyoya as well, making it easier for Noah to find that kill later on. A nice ultimate into Q combo from Noah is what allowed them to secure it, but MDK they have such a strong comp for retreating. The Maokai ultimate, the mobility when combined of Ezreal and Karma, the ultimate from Elyoya to just tank so much up, and MDK was so close to getting away with a free kill. Fortunately for them, Noah was able to find that pick 1-for-1. And it only adds to the tension between these two teams. Will we go to a game 5, or will Mad Lions Koi make their way to face Vedius tomorrow?
There's one man that very much wants us to go all the way. Marek Brazda, now 680 ability power on this way, has finished the Rabadon's death cap. And it seemed like this split he was not going to fit into his conventional box of Humanoid isn't that good until playoffs. He started off the split incredibly well, and now in playoffs continues to level up. Obviously we'll have the off game here and there, but consistently a carry for this Fnatic team. Sitting with the most gold in the game. If MDK ever overstep, that poke is going to be deadly.
And right now, exactly, there's not a lot to say because both teams are just waiting for those objectives to spawn.
Just waiting.
We are indeed just waiting. Renata also finishing the second item. It's the Mikhails for a little bit of extra CC removal, along with the redemption.
Looks like Alvaro is going for Locket.
Ooh, Abyssal Mask picked up as well by Razork. I don't know if he got that earlier or if he just got it now. But
I think he just completed that, Vedi.
But that's more damage for Hwei, by the way.
Severing Bolt wide. Noah corruption wide as well. He's stepping forward and Elyoya has to burn the flash to escape.
Jeez. Noah just walks into melee range of Elyoya and says, yeah, you're running away from me. They can start the Baron off now. They know they have a huge health advantage over Elyoya.
No blast cone as well for MDK to get into this pit. There's the TP from Oscarinin. Myrwn's going to try and stop him. He gets there with the Gnar in time. Now Myrwn needs to get away so he can TP in to join the fray. Razork flashes forward onto Supa. Supa dashes away. Hostile takeover finds Elyoya, but it's not going to be enough. Razork having to dash away. Myrwn now TPing in. Can Oscar stop his? He can! With a let's bounce! Neither top lane are allowed to have any fun this game, it seems, and instead they'll trade with each other down in the bot lane. Oscar's losing that one, but the elastic slingshot will get him out. The Baron stopped.
Okay, so TP is used by both top laners. Flashes, I should say, also used. Dragon in 45 seconds, both teams choosing to reset so they can get back out onto the map as quickly as possible. A little delayed by Noah, same for Myrwn.
And importantly for Fnatic, Supa just used his True Shot Barrage, so we can't steal it with
Also true. But this could be solved for MDK, giving them so much more damage. We saw a similar game like this between Fnatic and MDK in the earlier rounds of playoffs, so they both had such long-range compositions. The poke was crucial.
Myrwn not with the team yet. Doesn't have Mega Gnar stacked up, but you can see the damage already on Jun. You talked about that poke, Vedi. So important for both these teams. Myrwn now here. A third of his Mega Gnar stacked up. Off the Wolves, I believe. He looks for it. Oscar's going to step forward. No cell division for him, no flash. Oh. Remember.
Earlier, I wasn't as confident that Supa could handle Oscar, but he is proving me wrong once again. The poke is relentless from MDK.
I just don't know if you can step into Myrwn. How are you going to get in here? Razork, no flash. Myrwn looking for the wall up, the redemption coming out. Razork's trying to get into the pit, and he does it, and he steals it! And the cease and desist lands as well as they kill off Supa! Oh, Razork, you absolute beauty! That was sublime! Fnatic need to get out of here. Fresskowy low, he flashes. He's gonna take to the Leandries as Humanoid is helping Fnatic drag MDK, kicking and screaming into Game 5.
What was that fight? It looked so good for MDK. Their positioning. The fact that Fnatic had to gamble. Oh, Alvaro is also gonna die. Humanoid is dominating. One more dragon left. Razork with a big smile on his face. Let's look back. Please give us the slow-mo here, observers. The redemption comes through. Razork full HP. Oh, no slow-mo. Die. That was so fast. Gets the steal. But he looks so isolated. But look at the damage here. I also think that the damage came through from Noah. And Supa just disappeared. Razork at the very edge of his life, working with Oscarinin to just melt the front line. In the thick of things, the fact that they survived for as long as they did, truly impressive. And now the Baron is being started off.
It was a slow early start to this game, but now the teams are unrelenting. And Elyoya, no flash, but he has Blast Cone. Oscarinin try and keep him at bay. Fresskowy coming in from the side, and Noah's down to half HP. 4,000 on the Baron is down. Already Humanoid secures the hostile takeover as well. Landing onto Supa. Oscarinin may be sacrificed here by Fnatic. They'll get 4 players out with the Baron. And they'll delay the game even further. True Shot Barrage. I think it stole a wolf, perhaps. Doesn't do enough.
Fnatic will take that trade though. Sucks for Oscar, but 4 Barons puts Fnatic in a great spot to begin their siege. MDK though, very quick to move into Fnatic's side of the map, trying to control as much vision as possible. Maybe they'll try and set up a pick. If nothing else, they can just keep these waves pushed in to slow down the siege from Fnatic. There's a wave on bot lane that they're already looking to try and work with. You can see Humanoid making a beeline towards it. And Razork doing the same thing, controlling that bot side river to work with Humanoid. They just need Noah to be able to push out this wave. They're going to wait for the respawn of Oscar. They're going to begin their siege. Ooh, that was scary for Supa.
Faster Adoration does spot him out. Razork was waiting, with the blue buff secured for MDK. 4,000 gold in it between these two teams, but you have to just think about items at this sort of point. There's 1 extra completed item. Oh, actually, there's 2 on Humanoid. He's at full build now. Compared to only 3 for Fresskowy, he has got that needlessly large rod, but it's not as much AP as this Hwei. And we've seen just how much damage Humanoid can put down in these fights. He's buffing up the minion waves in bot. 4 members of Fnatic down here while Oscarinin catches mid. He has the TP and no Myrwn close by to stop him this time. Myrwn goes out of the Mega. Humanoid looking for more, the grasping more. Lands on Supa. He's just going to continue to step up and to chip away. Alvaro looking for that flank. A ward in the bush will spot him out. Razork will clear the control. Oscar now has shepherded in that wave in mid. Will we see another twist in this tail, Vedi? Or will we be going all the way to 5
Ooh,
at the
that
moment?
was big poke damage on Fresskowy.
Another crushing more on Elyoya. They just can't really find a way to get onto this Fnatic lineup. And Fnatic go ahead when they have that Baron buff, when they have the vision control on the flanks. MDK don't really have an avenue to approach. Redemption down, and that poke from the True Shot Barrage nullified on Humanoid and Noah.
Another minion wave reaches the tower. And Fnatic secure an objective. Only a single tower though. MDK can handle that. It's all about the dragon. 45 seconds until it is back in play. Deathcap finally finished for Fresskowy is going to give him a lot of extra damage. MDK have control over the mid wave. That bot wave is pushing in favor of Fnatic, but MDK, they can afford to abandon it for now. MDK pushing very far forward into Fnatic's jungle, really mitigating their avenues into the river. Myrwn though, getting chipped away at. The poke at this late into the game is terrifying from both sides.
At the moment, it's really only hitting from Fnatic. MDK Supa down to half HP. Dashes away. Myrwn goes out of the Mega. Razork pulls the wave up through mid. Waves in mid and bot not in favor of MDK. They're crashing. That's XP and gold lost. But right now, the only thing in their eyes, the only prize in their sights has to be this Baron. Fnatic have control of the bush as Razork dives in, and already they've locked down 1. And Supa is done for. They're going to continue to chase in onto Myrwn, the Spiraling Despair. Not only the name of the skill, but also perhaps how MDK feel in this game. And Razork secures it. Ivan Martin Diaz will not have it smote away from him today. The Infernal secured for Fnatic, the fight secured for Fnatic, and the full 5 games secured for Fnatic.
Fnatic with another great team fight will secure the Infernal Soul and will secure the game. They will bring us to a game 5, and these teams are not done just yet.
No other way but this. When Fnatic and Mad meet on the Rift, you know it's gonna be a party.
A crazy back and forth. An incredible series. Blue side has been the determiner in every single case. Huge props to Humanoid for his performance in that game. His Hwei was, they had no way to deal with it. Absolutely no way. The fact that Supa just kept getting one shot in those final fights, there was absolutely nothing that they could do. There was a lot to break down in that game, and you're going to hear all about it from the desk after this break.